Welcome to your first week of Strumming for Learning. We're going to start with your first lesson. Every lesson we're going to start with tuning our instrument. So make sure you have your instrument, your clip-on tuner, or your tuning app open. And hopefully you watched the video on tuning, so I'm going to go a little quick on this. Just as a reminder, your dominant hand is the hand that's over the front of the body, and this is your sweet spot, your strumming zone that you want to be using right at the top of the sound hole between there and the top of the body. Your non-dominant hand is at the neck, and remember you can make kind of a C shape that holds or cradles that neck. And this is going to be kind of a pivoting process. So this is kind of how you hold the instrument nice and flat against your body, using your forearm at the front of the instrument and squeezing in. You may have a strap that you need to loosen or tighten. You figure out a nice, comfortable way for it to fit within your body. The neck of the instrument needs to be at a little bit of an angle, not too high, not totally parallel to the ground, just a nice comfortable spot. You don't need the neck to come really close to your body like this. You want to have a little space between your forearm and the top of your arm, so you don't have to push it really far out, but just finding a nice happy medium of how to hold the instrument. We're going to turn on our tuner. If you already have yours tuned, you can just go ahead and fast forward. Making sure if you have some options here that you're on the U for the ukulele. Our fourth string, I'm going to put my thumb there. I'm holding the body of my instrument with my other fingers. I'm going to follow that fourth string up to the tuning peg, and I'm going to pluck and tighten or loosen at the same time until my tuner shows a green G for the fourth string. Now I'm going to go to my third string. I'm going to follow that up to the correct tuning peg and do the same thing. This time I want to see a C. Until it's green. My second string, I'm going to follow it up, go to the correct tuning peg, and I'd like this to be an E. Making little tweaks, tiny turns, loosening or tightening as needed until it gets to the E. And my first string needs to be an A. So now I'm tuned to G, C, E, and A. So you take your time to get nice and tuned. I'm going to take my tuner off. Obviously you can keep yours on, but that's the first step every time you play to make sure that your instrument is tuned. So we've talked about tuning, we talked a little bit about holding your instrument, get nice and comfortable. Of course, if you have a strap, make sure that's at a good length for you where it's nice and comfortable. And we're gonna start with a down strum. So my non-dominant hand will just be resting, kind of cradling the neck without touching any strings, because I want all my strings to ring out nicely. And if you watched the video about the introduction to strumming, hopefully you've experimented with your thumb, your pointer finger, or your four fingers and decided what's comfortable for you. Obviously you can change it up at any time, but kind of decide what you'd like to start with. I like to use my thumb. Again, it's kind of that meaty part on the side of my thumb, the outside of my thumb, and we'll go really slow. Start with your fourth string. Make sure you're between the top of the sound hole and the top of the body. That's your spot you want to be in. And relaxing all your other fingers. And we're just going to push against the neck, push toward you, but also down, and do one string at a time, starting with your fourth. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's just do that a couple times. 4, 3, 2, 1. A little quicker. 4, 3, 2, 1. from my elbow, it's really just a nice little flick in the wrist. At first, it's very common for your fingers to get stuck and for it to not sound very smooth or very even. That is something that will eventually work itself out as your body gets more comfortable strumming. So this is our down strum, and we're gonna do our first chord. Our first chord is the C chord, and your non-dominant hand does your chord shapes. That's which fingers are going to push down which strings. And you have the chord chart on your sheet. Your fingers are numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're gonna take your third finger, everybody look at that third finger or your ring finger. You're going to place it on your first string, and it's going to be near the 3rd fret. So it mirrors the chord chart. This is the nut. These are the frets. 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. Your finger is not going to be on the fret. It's just before the fret. You're also in a C shape. What that means is your finger, when it's pushing down on that string, you should have a nice C shape. It's the tip of your finger. You don't want to make your finger flat like this because it's going to make a funny sound on your strings. So make sure you're really turning your finger. It's the tip of your finger pushing down. If you have long nails, you're going to need to cut them. It does need to be the skin of your finger pushing down. And notice I have my thumb kind of pushing against the back of the neck as well. That might be helpful for you too. It's kind of that counter pressure. So I'm gonna get my instrument nice and comfortable. I'm pushing down on that first string near the 3rd fret with my 3rd finger. I'm gonna hold it down. So this means I'm on, my chord is on. And then I'm going to strum down. And I'm gonna do a measure. A measure is just counting 1, 2, 3, 4. It's how a song is broken up. Kind of like the whole beats that you would clap a song to. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm holding that C chord, my finger is on, and we're gonna down strum 2 measures. So we're gonna count to 4 twice, and then we're gonna go off. When we go off the chord, we're just gonna lift. My finger's just gonna come up a tiny bit, and then it's on, we're gonna go back down. You don't want your finger to travel too much. If I go off this far, and then I have to find the string again and the fret again. If I just start in the right spot, lift off that string a tiny bit for 2 measures, then I can push right back on. I don't have to travel very far. It's gonna be a lot easier for my fingers. So hold down that C chord, and we're gonna strum down for 2 measures, and we're gonna go off for 2 measures. Here we go. Right now it's on the C chord. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Now, just practicing that over and over again, that lifting off and going back on is really gonna help you build that muscle memory so your finger will eventually get to where it just knows where to go. You don't have to look. Allow yourself to look right now. It's brand new, it's gonna take some time. It's okay to be on. 1, 2, 3, 4, off. 1, 2, 3, 4. And to go back on, if you need to look, that's okay. And count. 1, 2, 3rd fret, 1st string, and down. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to practice this every day for about 10 to 15 minutes, just going on the C chord, off the C chord, on the C chord, off the C chord. I'd also like you to think a little bit about where you imagine putting this instrument in your classroom or your learning environment. I highly recommend having it somewhere near where you sit, whether it's a rocking chair or whatever that main point of contact is, where you have your whole class in front of you or all your students in front of you if you're a librarian or in a different learning environment. I've tried multiple kinds of stands. There are different stands available, and I can do a separate video on those options. You kind of just have to find what works best for your environment, as long as it's very quick and easy for you to grab. And you want to make sure it's out of the way of kids' feet. A lot of times we get up for brain breaks, and my ukuleles have been knocked over quite a few times by some over exuberant brain breaks. But if you just start thinking about, where could I fit this instrument in my classroom, before you even really know how to play it and before you know how you're going to use it yet, just get your mind thinking about that. So there's a separate video where you can go ahead and practice with me, and give yourself a good week to go over this before moving on to the next instruction. Or if you feel like this is super easy, I just want to go to the next week, this is self-paced, totally up to you if you'd like to go ahead. Have fun strumming.